Basketball Network.
Did you see they called a technical at the end of the first half
I did not. I thought they did. Who'd they call it on the bench?
on the bench over here? So they'll shoot free throws.
Fans, the NCAA and the Lone Star Showcase promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at tonight's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or other team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the HEB Center.
We are back, and before we get the second half action underway, there was a technical foul called on St. Bonaventure's bench at the end of the first half. Something said to the officials on the way to the locker room, and there is going to be two free throws shot by Little Rock before we get the second half underway. So Marcus Johnson Jr. will be at the free throw line before we get this second half started. So
Technical foul called on assistant coach for St. Bonaventure at the line, number 13, Marcus Johnson Jr.
So Marcus Johnson Jr. misses the first free throw. And he'll have one more. Second one misses both of them. Well, there's a little bit of a break for the Bonnies as he misses both free throws. And now it will be Bonaventure ball to start the second half. Starters out there. And the ball inbounded to Jay Adams. Adams comes around, gives it to Mobley. Mobley, free throw line, gives it back to Adrice Taki. Taki will go back to Matt Mobley. Mobley, not using the screen, gets it back to Ayeni. 15-footer on the way is good.
Number 33, Josh Ayeni.
Bonnie's down 8 now at 38-30. Ayeni now with 4 points. Johnson with the basketball for Little Rock. He will give it up to Osei, back to Johnson at the top of the key. He'll come around a screen. They go back to Sochi, to Jalen Jackson. Jackson gets the ball back out front. They get it to Sochi. Now on the blocks, he'll turn around, take the jumper. It's no good. Denzel Gregg with the rebound, gives it up to Adams. Jay comes down the right wing where he gets double teamed there. They get the ball down to Ayeni. Ayeni back to Jay. Jay penetrates, gives it back to Josh. Ayeni in the corner gives it to Adrice Taki. Adrice penetrates, gets it down low to Ayeni. Goes up with a shot. He's fouled. Good passing interior by the Bonnies there. They're going to get a foul. They finally get one called on Sochi. It'll be the first foul called, and the Bonnies will inbound it. They get it into Mobley. Mobley penetrates, runner on the way. Good. Matt Mobley from about 10 feet. So the Bonnies with 4 quick points have cut the lead to 6. 38-32 the score. Mobley now with 4 points in the game. With the basketball is Marcus Johnson Jr. He will go right side to Osei gets it over to Sochi. They give it back to Johnson at the top of the key. He'll go right wing to Osei. Sochi now to Johnson on the left wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson goes down the lane inside. Ball blocked, but a foul called on Denzel Gregg from behind. Denzel Gregg picks up foul number 4. As he tried to block that shot from behind, and that's almost an automatic call for the officials. Doesn't matter if you do it clean or not. So 4 fouls on Denzel Gregg and Ladarian Griffin right off the bench. And it'll be 2 shots for Liz Sochi. He's got 2 free throws coming, and the first one bounces home. Ladarian Griffin into the ball game. Ladarian with 9 points in the first half. And we'll get one more free throw here from Sochi. And the second free throw is short, and it is Ayeni with the rebound. 39-32, Bonnies trail by 7. With the ball, Mobley goes across the court to Adrice Taki. Adrice, left side, gives it to Adams. Jay getting a screen from Ladarian Griffin, comes around another screen. Will give it up to Adrice Taki, who goes to Mobley. 13 on the shot clock. Matt gets a screen, will take the three, and it's good. Three-pointer by Mobley. And the Bonnies within 4 at 39-35. And Mobley starting to warm up. He's got 7. With the ball, Johnson gets it back out front to Hill. They go left side to Jackson. Jackson going to penetrate, kicks it back out front, and here's a shot from Hill that is going to be short, and the rebound off the hands of Taki, and he gets an offensive foul called on Jackson as he takes the charge. And the Bonnies get the basketball, and that'll be foul number 3 on Jalen Jackson. And coming off the bench for Little Rock will be number 30, DeAndre Burns. 39-35, Little Rock out in front. And they set up in a zone trap here. Full court. With the ball, Adrice Taki. Taki will bring it over the timeline, and will go cross court to Adams. Jay. Back to Adrice Taki. Adrice will penetrate, goes in for the shot. No shot. A foul going to be called on Little Rock as they're going to get number 30, DeAndre Burns, for the foul. Second on Burns, and the third team foul on Little Rock. The Bonnies will inbound. Ball inbounded to Ayeni. Out front, gives it to Griffin. They go to Mobley. Mobley penetrates down low, and another foul going to be called. Again on Little Rock. And they're going to get the foul called on Kenny Osei. 4 team fouls, and now substitutions, more substitutions off the Little Rock bench as Oliver Block comes in. And Jones is in as well. Bonnies will inbound. They get it to Adrice Taki. Adrice gives it back to Jay. Jay penetrates, will go up with a shot, no good. Blocking foul called. Jay goes to the line. And they're going to get the foul called on Oliver Block. So he picks up his third foul. He had 2 in the first half, and it's going to put Jay Adams at the line for 2 shots. Adams ready to go. Free throw on the way is good. Jay with 12 points. And he'll have 1 more. And the second one good as well. Adams with 13, and the Bonnies within 2 at 39-37. With the ball is Johnson. Working it over the timeline. Holds. Now we'll give it to Burns. Burns coming around the screen. They get the ball to Black. Black will give it to Johnson. Johnson penetrates. Short runner from the side is good. Johnson is a scorer, and he got loose about 8 feet from the basket and gives Little Rock a 4-point lead again at 41-37. Adams with the ball out front. Going to get a screen from Griffin. Gets double teamed down there. Someone's got to be open. Finally gets it to Ayeni, to Mobley. Mobley loses the basketball, and now he's going to pick up a foul as he tried to get the loose ball back, and he ends up tripping Johnson. So Mobley called for his second personal. He got a little careless with the ball out front and dribbled it off his foot. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Bonnies. Little Rock inbounds the ball. Johnson will have it. He will hand it off to Burns. Burns gets the ball to the side, and a 15-footer on the way by Johnson is no good, and a rebound going to be called. And they're going to get the foul called on Oliver Black on the rebound. So he picks up his 4th foul, and the Bonnies get possession. And into the game comes number 20, Ben Marcus, as they take Black out of the game with 4 fouls. And that is 16 fouls on Little Rock, and we've got 16 minutes to play here in the second half. Bonnies trail by 4 with the ball. Taki, top of the key, will go into the corner to Adams. Jay picked up in there by Johnson, comes around a screen, dribbles through a couple of guys, gets it into Adrice Taki, and his shot is blocked out of there. I believe it was Sochi who got a hand on the ball. Up the wing they go to Jones. Jones gets the ball out front to Johnson. Johnson goes left wing to Burns. Burns coming around a screen, will give it back to Johnson. Johnson fakes the 3. Will go a baseline, gets the ball on the side. Burns with it, gives it back to Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Jones looking to penetrate. Gets the ball tipped and batted away, and the Bonnies come away with it. Ayeni gets the loose ball, gives it to Jay Adams. Good defense there by the Bonnies. Adams doesn't take the three, goes into the corner to Ladarian Griffin, and he's going to be called for a travel. Didn't get that foot dribble down in time, and we get a timeout. Another turnover for the Bonnies. 15:29 to go in the second half. It is 41-37 Little Rock. Timeout brought to you by the Hollamby Agency. With Nationwide always on your side, it's the Bonnies Basketball Network.
Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
Back at the Lone Star Showcase as the Bonnies trail it by 4 with 15:29 to play in the second half. And, of course, our timeout brought to you by Ayers Auto Body and Collision in Allegheny, your one-stop choice. The stats, second half stats, the Bonnies have hit 3 out of 4 shots, including a three-pointer, 2 for 2 from the line. Little Rock, 1 out of 4 from the field and 1 out of 4 from the free throw line. Bonnies have outscored Little Rock 9-3 to make it a 4-point ball game. But, again, some silly turnovers for the Bonnies. 2 in this half. One of them, Mobley dribbling the ball off his foot, and the last time Ladarian Griffin didn't get the foot down as he took off of the basket, or didn't get the dribble down, I should say. Got a step in there before the ball hit the floor, and the referee picked it up immediately. Bonnies will come out with Josh Ayeni, Ladarian Griffin, Jay Adams, Matt Mobley, and Idris Taki. As we heard, if you did not know, didn't hear Denzel Gregg's name, it's because he's on the bench with 4 fouls. Little Rock inbounds the basketball. Marcus Johnson Jr. brings it up the middle of the court. Bounce pass to Sochi. Sochi will give it to Marcus. Left side, they get it over to Johnson. Top of the key to Burns. Burns will get a screen from Marcus. They'll get the ball out front to Sochi. They give it back to Sochi. He'll go up with a runner, and he misses the shot. Mobley comes away with the rebound. Matt Mobley up the left side, holding it up now, gets a screen from Griffin, penetrates right down the lane, goes up with a runner, no good. Josh Ayeni with the rebound, but a foul is called under the basket. And they're going to get a blocking foul called. I believe Mobley's going to get 2 shots. Matt really went hard to the basket there and was a little out of control, but fortunately for him, they picked up Marcus and the foul. So Matt Mobley at the line for 2 free throws. Makes the first. Matt now with 8 points, and the Bonnies within 3 at 41-38. That was the 7th team foul. The Bonnies in the bonus the rest of the way in this game. Second free throw by Mobley drops through, and it's a 2-point game. 41-39, Bonnies trail by 2. Johnson brings the ball over the timeline. Will run it to the right. They go to Sochi. Sochi, top of the key to Marcus. Marcus hands the ball to Johnson, comes around the key, will take the jumper, and he misses. But the long rebound in the corner is saved by Idris Taki, and Ladarian Griffin outfights Marcus for the ball. Bonnies with a chance to tie or go ahead with a 3 here. On the side, they go to Idris Taki. Taki in the corner to Ladarian. Ladarian up with a shot, is blocked, but a foul called on Arkansas. And the foul going to be called on Andre Jones. And at the free throw line is going to be Ladarian Griffin. And he'll have 2 shots. Ladarian going strong to the basket. He got hit by a couple of guys. They gave the foul to Jones. Free throw is good. And Ladarian in double figures with 10 points. Bonnie's within a point. Sochi out of the game. And coming back in for Little Rock is number 10, Marius Hill. Second free throw for Ladarian on the way, and it's good. Bonnies have tied the game at 41. Ladarian Griffin with 11 points. With the ball, it is DeAndre Burns. Burns going to penetrate, kicks the ball back out to Jones. Jones almost lost the ball, able to recover it, gets it back to Hill. Hill to Burns. Burns spins inside. Ball stolen away by Adams. Here's Jalen Adams coming down the lane, goes up with a runner and scores, and the Bonnies have the lead. 43-41 as Jay Adams gets the steal, and we get a timeout. At one point in this game, the Bonnies were down 17, 35-18. They have come back to take the lead, 43-41, and it's been defense. Jay Adams figuring out what Arkansas Little Rock was using that time, and he just stood there, and they threw the ball right to him, and he beat Melvin Johnson Jr. with a pretty move with the left-handed layup. And the Bonnies take the lead. So Jay with 15 points. And the Bonnies with the lead now, 43-41. So quite a comeback here has been fueled a lot by the sophomore Ladarian Griffin, who has 11 points in this game. And has made a difference, that's for sure. But the Bonnies playing much tighter on defense. And they're also doing a fairly decent job on the boards over the last couple of minutes. Want to remind you, the Bonnies have 2 more games down here in Texas, and after that it is back to Riley Center on Wednesday night, November 30th. It's going to be a doubleheader at Riley Center as the Bonnies will, the women's team, will be taking on Stony Brook. That's at 5:30. And then the men will be playing Siena with an 8 o'clock start for the men as they battle for the Franciscan Cup that is competed for between the two schools. And also some specials going on. The first 1,200 fans in attendance will be receiving a custom-dyed Bob Lanier Court rally towel, courtesy of Mazda Mechanical Services. Tickets start at just $9. They're good for both games. Kids ages 12 and under can get in for $7 with a paying adult at the ticket office. And you must show up, get your tickets 2 hours prior to tip-off. You can visit GoBonnies.com/tickets for more information, or you can call 375-2500. Set to go as Little Rock will inbound the basketball. And the ball inbounded by Hill. He gives it to Johnson. Johnson moves it to the right side. They get the ball in the corner. Now they get it down low to Sochi. Sochi spins, gets the fall-away jumper on the way. No good, but a foul is called. And they're going to get Josh Ayeni for the push underneath the basket. And it'll be 2 shots for Liz Sochi, who is, again, we said he's been living there. He's 9 of 10 from the line. That time, a little bit of play acting on his part as he fell to the ground, and it really wasn't that hard of a hit. But Ayeni picks up his 3rd personal foul. So Sochi at the free throw line, and he makes the first. Chinonsono Boca coming into the game, Ayeni coming out. And the second free throw on the way by Sochi is no good. And the rebound to Ladarian Griffin. Bonnie's still leading by a point, 43-42. With the ball, Adrice Taki with a high pass to Mobley. Mobley makes a nice catch as they work against that 1-3-1 zone trap. Adrice with the ball will hand it to Adams. Jay coming around a screen. Gets the ball down low to Aboka. He lays it in. Jay Adams found Aboka underneath the basket all alone. And Chinonsono Boca with a pair, and the Bonnies lead at 45-42. Aboka with his first 2 points of the game. DeAndre Burns with the basketball to Sochi. Sochi will hand it off to Johnson. Johnson coming around the screen. Will put the ball up, no good. Foul called. And they're going to get Aboka for the foul, and going to the free throw line with Marcus Johnson Jr. So Marcus Johnson Jr. at the line. On the season, a very good free throw shooter. He is now 20 out of 23. And you'll have one more. Second free throw on the way, and that one is good as well. And the Bonnies lead by a point again at 45-44. With the ball with Darian Griffin. Gets it over to Mobley. Mobley goes baseline, puts a shot up and in. Double pumped it over the top of Sochi. And Matt Mobley now in double figures with 11. With the ball is Johnson to Hill. Hill on the right wing will get it to Burns, top of the key. Now back to Johnson on the left wing. Johnson gives it back to Hill. Hill going to drive for the basket. LaDarian Griffin cuts him off. The jumper on the way is short, and the rebound is loose but picked up in there by Aboka. He'll give it to Jay Adams. Adams brings the ball down low and loses the ball as he tries to go up for the shot. And the loose ball picked up in there by Hill. He'll give it to Burns. Burns goes up for the shot and scores. And it's a one-point game again. Bonnies lead at 47-46. Jay Adams tried to go 1-on-3 that time and he lost. And it turns into 2 points for Little Rock. With the basketball is Idris Taki, and he is called for the travel. Again, the Bonnies take off before getting the dribble down. And we get a timeout with 11:58 to go in the second half. A one-point game. Bonnies up 47-46. Your timeout brought to you by the folks at Hollenby Insurance Agency of Portville. Nationwide, always on your side. It's the Bonnies Basketball Network. Back at the Lone Star Showcase, we have 11:58 to go in the second half. Bonnies with the lead, 47-46. After being down 10 at halftime, they have outscored Little Rock 19-8. But the turnovers continue and the fouls continue to pile up for the Bonnies. 16 turnovers now after the last travel by Idris Taki that will give Little Rock possession of the basketball. With the Bonnies shooting much better, 6 out of 7 to start the second half, and 6 for 6 from the free throw line as well. And they've made the only three-point shot they've taken. That was from Matt Mobley, who has 11 points in this game. Ayers Auto Body and Collision of Allegheny is one of our sponsors, and of course they're your one-stop choice for auto body and collision repair. Bonnies have put David Ando back in the game, seeing his first action of the second half. So Adams, Mobley, Taki, Ando, and Chinoso Aboka. With the basketball, it is Melvin Johnson coming around a double screen. Johnson gets the ball over to Jalen Jackson, who's back in there for the Trojans. Back to Johnson. Johnson will give it back to Jackson at the three-point line. He will penetrate. Can't get the ball and gets the ball back. Here's a jumper on the way by O'Shea that's no good. Ball is controlled by David Ando off the boards. He gives it to Jay Adams. Adams coming around an Ando screen, gives it back to David. David will get the ball over to Mobley. Mobley picked his dribble up, gives it back to Ando. He'll hand it back to Jay, 15 on the shot clock. Jay gets a screen from Aboka. They get the ball in the corner to Ando, back to Jay. Down to 8. Jay with a long three on the way. Hits the rim. No good. Rebound brought down by Jalen Jackson. Jackson going to bring the ball right down the floor. Goes up for the shot, and he gets the bounce as it rolls in. And Little Rock retakes the lead, 48-47. With the ball is Jay Adams. He'll get the screen from Maboka, hands the ball off to Mobley. Mobley coming around another screen, going to go right for the basket, goes up and lays it in. Matt Mobley, weaving his way through the Little Rock defense, gives the Bonnies a 1-point lead again. 10.5 minutes to go. With the ball, top of the key is going to be Jackson. Gives it up to DeAndre Burns. Burns gives it to Jackson. Jackson holding out front, now will penetrate again, goes up with the runner and scores. Jalen Jackson using his big body that time, able to ward off Adrice Taki and give Little Rock the lead back. 50-49 the score as we come down to 10 minutes to play in the second half. With the ball is Adams. Jay brings the ball up. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They'll give it to Mobley. Down to 6. Matt's got to go. He's going to have to go one-on-one here. He's going to get to the free throw line. Jumper off the back of the rim. No good. Ball loose. Adrice Taki's got the ball, but he picks up the foul. So Adrice Taki will pick up his third personal. It'll be the 6th team foul on the Bonnies. Oliver Black is coming back in the game for Little Rock as they give Sochi a breather. Black's playing with 4 fouls. 50-49, Little Rock with the lead as Melvin Johnson Jr. will work the ball to the left side to start the play. They get the ball over to O'Shea. The Jackson. Jackson penetrates, turns around, jumper on the way is short, and the rebound picked up by Ando. Ando gives the ball to Jay Adams. Adams gets a screen from David. Will get the ball back to Mobley. Bonnies look a little confused as to what play they're running at the moment. They get the ball down low to Ando. Ando going to penetrate. Steps, jumper on the way, rolls off, no good, and we get a foul called, I believe, on Little Rock, and they're going to get Oliver Black, who is out of the game with his 5th foul. So Black fouls out. And we've got substitutions for both teams coming here. Bonnies are going to put Ladarian Griffin back in. And it's going to be Oboka at the free throw line for the 1-and-1. Chino with 2 points in the ball game, ready to go. And the free throw on the way, rolls off, no good. The rebound, though, to Adrice Taki. Gets the offensive rebound on the missed free throw. Jay Adams with the ball will try to get it down low to Griffin, and a foul is going to be, no, they're just going to give the ball to the Bonnies. Griffin landed hard as he got undercut. Oboka out of the game. Josh Ayeni will come in. Bonnies with possession here with 23 on the shot clock, trailing by a point. Plenty of time to go in this game, just under 9 minutes. Here's Adrice Taki going for the basket, put it in, counted, and it's a foul on Arkansas, I believe. So Adrice Taki goes to the basket and draws the charge. Substitution in the game as Sochi comes back in. Ben Marcus, who just got in the game, came back out, and Adrice Taki at the free throw line for 1, trying to complete the 3-point play. Free throw on the way is good, and the Bonnies lead it 52-50. With the ball is Johnson over the timeline. They come back out front, and on the side they go to Jones. Jones gets the ball, and he travels as he moved his feet, trying to get that ball into Sochi, and the Bonnies get the ball back. Jay Adams inbounding as he will walk the ball over the timeline. Bonnies up 2. Adams with 15 points so far in the game. Gives it to Mobley. Mobley will get a screen from Griffin. Doesn't use the screen. Bulls picked his dribble up. Goes to Griffin in the corner. Back to Matt. Matt will get a screen. He'll pop the 3 on the way. It is off the rim, no good. Jackson with the rebound. quickly up the floor. They get it to Jones, and Jones' reverse layup is good. And we're tied at 52. Bonnie's trying to get down the floor quickly. Adams with the ball. Will hold up, and they'll run a play. Here's Jay penetrating. Gets it over to Ayeni. His shot up, no good, but Josh was fouled as he took the shot. And they'll get Sochi for the foul. And we'll get a timeout. 7:57 to go in the second half. We are tied at 52 at the Lone Star Showcase. Our timeout brought to you by the Hollenby Agency with Nationwide always on your side. It's the Bonnie's Basketball Network. No, I'm not. And we are back at Austin, Texas. The score tied at 52 with 7:57 to play in the second half. The Bonnies will be at the free throw line with Josh Ayeni. One of the many sponsors for St. Bonaventure basketball throughout the years has been Community Bank, a longtime supporter of St. Bonaventure Athletics with 3 convenient locations in Olean. And also Orthodontist Associates and Dr. Dominic Colarusso Jr., a proud sponsor of Bonnie's. Check them out online at orthodwny.com. The stats, Bonnie's have outscored Arkansas Little Rock 24-14 in this second half. Matt Mobley has 13 points, 11 of those in the second half. Jay Adams leading the team with 15 points, and Ladarian Griffin off the bench with 11. For Little Rock, 2 players in double figures. Marcus Johnson Jr. has 12, and Liz Sochi has 12. And at the free throw line is going to be Josh Ayeni for the Bonnies. Free throw is good. Ayeni now with 5 points in the game. And he will have one more. Second free throw is no good, and the rebound brought down by Andre Jones. 1 point, Bonaventure lead. Johnson with the ball over half court for Little Rock. He'll bring it around a screen to the right side. Gets the ball over to Osei. Osei gets it down to Sochi. Sochi goes up and under and scores. And it's a 1 point lead for Little Rock. Sochi now with 14. Bonnies have not had much of an answer for him, but then again, he spent a lot of time at the free throw line. With the basketball, Griffin, right wing, goes to Adams. Jay going to try the three. On the way in, it's off the back of the rim. No good. The loose ball chased down in the corner, and we get a turnover on Little Rock. A double dribble going to be called, and the Bonnies get the basketball back. So the ball will be inbounded by Adams in the corner. An awkward spot to inbound, but he'll get it into Mobley. Mobley hands the ball back to Jay, and the Bonnies will set up. They will give it to Taki. Idris brings it up to Ladarian Griffin. Griffin back to Ayeni. Ayeni will give it to Mobley. Back to Adams, running a weave out front. Jay gets it on the side to Idris Taki. Taki penetrates, gets it into Ayeni. Ayeni with a spin move. Jump hook, no good. And the rebound brought down by Sochi. He'll give it up to Johnson. Johnson pulls the ball back out, gives it to Sochi, to Osei. Osei out front to Jones. Left side they go to Jalen Jackson. Jackson back to Osei. Osei will give it to Sochi. Back out to Johnson. 13 on the shot clock for the Trojans. Johnson moves it to the left, goes back to Sochi. Sochi, free throw line, will go with a runner, and they're going to call the travel as he stopped and then took another step. And the turnover gives the ball back to the Bonnies, who trail by a point, 54-53. 6.5 minutes to go in this second half. Adams with the basketball will start the play to the left, gives it to Mobley. Matt, top of the key to Griffin. They'll go right wing to Idris. Here's Idris into the corner to Adams. Jay with a three on the way, rattles out, no good. Jones with a rebound for Little Rock. Jay with a couple of good looks and no luck from the rims. Johnson holding things up now is setting up his offense. They'll get the ball to Jackson. Jackson to Johnson. Top of the key to go to Jones. Jones in the corner. And here's a jumper on the way from O'Shea. That's good, and he's fouled. Kemi O'Shea hits the three, and he's fouled by Mobley on the shot. Could be a 4-point play here for Little Rock. Denzel Gregg going to make his return. Denzel has played 11 minutes in this game. He's had 4 fouls. So Kemi O'Shea at the line for 1 can extend the lead back to 5 for Little Rock. Free throw is good. 58-53. Bonnie's trail by 5. Adams brings the ball over the timeline. He will give it to Mobley. To Denzel Gregg, left side to Idris Taki. Idris goes up with a shot. He's fouled as he tried to dunk the ball. And the foul going to be called on Marius Hill. And it will be Idris Taki at the line for 2. Idris with 4 points in the game. And the free throw is short. Bonnies have missed a couple of free throws here in the last few minutes. One more now for Taki. That one is good. He makes 1 out of 2. And the Bonnies now trail by 4, 58-54. 5:30 to go here in the second half. Johnson with the ball. We'll give it up to Jackson. Jackson gives it to Osei. Osei gets it out front. They give it back to Johnson, left wing. Coming around his screen is Johnson going under the basket. Tries a reverse layup and a foul. Going to be called on Idris Taki. Idris picks up foul number 4. And again, it's Melvin Johnson Jr. Marcus Johnson Jr. He'll be at the line for 2 shots. And set to go here, finally. Free throw on the way is good. One more free throw coming for Johnson. Second free throw is on the way, and that one good as well. And the Bonnies now trail by 6. 60-54 with 5:20 to go in the second half. With the ball, Denzel Gregg will hand it off to Idris Taki. Taki gives it up to Adams on the three-point line, left wing. Jay brings it back out front. Will penetrate, goes up for the shot, loses the ball. He'll go to the line for 2. And the foul is going to be called on Kemi O'Shea. So Jay Adams will have a couple of free throws. Free throw is good. Jay now with 16 points. And the second free throw on the way is good. So Jay with 17. Bonnies trail by 4, 60-56. Need a couple of stops here defensively. Johnson with the ball. Will kick it back to Jackson. Jackson going to go right down the lane, lose the ball, but a offensive foul called on Jalen Jackson as he tried to get that 5th on Denzel. Instead, he picks up his 4th. And the Bonnies get the basketball. And Jackson comes out of the game. Sochi back in. Bonnies down 4. With the basketball will be Adams. Jalen moves it to the right side, gets a screen from Ayeni. Jay double teamed at the moment, tries to go and does give it to Ayeni. He goes up with a shot, misses it, tipped back in by Denzel Gregg. Denzel Gregg's first basket of the ball game comes with 4:34 to play, and it brings the Bonnies within 2 at 60-58. Johnson with the ball, will give it up to Hill. Hill back to Sochi. Sochi gives the ball back to Johnson. Johnson coming around the screen, goes baseline, steps back, jumper is short, and there's a foul called on the Bonnies, and Idris Taki is fouled out of the game. Idris Taki just picked up foul number 5. Trying to get the rebound. He's called for pushing off under the basket. So Idris has to come out of the ball game. And let's see who they're going to put in. I think Ladarian Griffin is going to go in for. So Taki will finish the game with 6 points. Ladarian Griffin will go in, and at the free throw line is going to be Andre Jones for the 1-and-1. That was the 9th team foul called on the Bonnies. Jones at the free throw line. The first one is no good, and the rebound brought down by Mobley. And the Bonnies with a chance to tie again. It's a 2-point ball game. Adams over the timeline. They go cross court to Denzel Gregg. Denzel will give it back to Adams. 1-3-1 zone here. A 1-3-1 trap. Here's the ball in the corner to Mobley. Mobley brings it out front. Runner on the way is no good. Denzel Gregg gets the ball. He'll go back up with a shot, puts it in. And the Bonnies tie it at 60. Denzel Gregg with a tough move to the basket. And the Bonnies have it tied as we come down under 4 minutes to play. With the basketball, Johnson moves it to the left side. He'll give it to Osei. Osei back to Johnson. 14 on the shot clock. Johnson pulls it back. He'll get a screen from Hill. He's going to go for the basket. Ball knocked away. Foul called. A foul called on Johnson on the drive. And a timeout with 3:19 to play. We're tied at 60. Our timeout brought to you by the Hollenby Agency with Nationwide always on your side. It's the Bonnies Basketball Network.
Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
We are back at the Lone Star Showcase with a tie ball game, 60-60, 3:19 to play. As the Bonnies again come back from a deficit, they were down 6 at 60-54 and have scored the last 6 points, 4 of those by Denzel Gregg. And the Bonnies have tied it up, and they'll have the ball with that last foul called on Johnson. So the Bonnies with a chance to go ahead when time comes back in here. Once again, Ayers Auto Body and Collision of Allegheny is your one-stop choice. And Little Rock comes out on the court with the starting 5 out there now. I'm sorry, not all of them, as they have DeAndre Burns in the game instead of Jalen Jackson. So Sochi, Johnson, Hill, Osei, and Burns. The Bonnies going to counter here with Josh Ayeni, Ladarian Griffin, Jay Adams, Matt Mobley, and Denzel Gregg. Idris Taki has fouled out of the game for the Bonnies. And we are set to go as the ball inbounded to Adams. He will move the ball to the right side to Griffin to start the play. They get it to Ayeni, top of the key. Josh will make one dribble, give it to Jay. Jay looking to penetrate, can't. Gets it down to Denzel Gregg. Denzel out front to Jay, 10 on the shot clock. Here's Ayeni giving him a screen. There's the ball inside to Denzel for the dunk. The alley-oop from Jay Adams to Denzel Gregg, and the Bonnies take the lead. Denzel sneaking behind everybody on that play. And the Bonnies take the 2-point lead as we come under 3 minutes to play. Johnson will give it to Sochi. Sochi will give it to Marius Hill. They go back to Johnson. Johnson gives it back to Sochi. Sochi, fall-away jumper on the way is no good, but there's Hill with the rebound, and he is fouled by Ayeni. Marius Hill got the offensive rebound after Sochi missed, and they made sure that Ayeni picked up his 4th foul, but he's going to make Marius Hill shoot the free throws instead of make the layup. So 2 shots coming. Hill readies, fires, and it's good. 1-point game. Second free throw on the way is no good, and Ayeni with the rebound gives it to Adams. Adams works the ball up to the half-court line, and he's picked up there by Johnson. Bonnie screen for Adams. Jay comes around a couple guys, gets it on the side, and throws it away to Mobley. Tried to hit Mobley in the corner and threw it away. Threw it past Matt. He could not come up with the ball. A hard pass by Adams, but it was well behind Mobley and into the Bonaventure bench. So now here comes Little Rock with a chance to take the lead in this game, coming down to 2 minutes to play. Here's Johnson with the ball, picked his dribble up, gets it back though, as he passed the ball quickly to Hill and gets it back. Here's the pass into the corner. 3 not able to go. Osei with the ball, fall-away jumper on the way is good. A huge shot for Kemi Osei, a fall-away 3-pointer. And the Bonnies will take a timeout here as Little Rock takes the 64-62 lead. Not much you could do with that shot. Osei just falling away from the pressure. The Bonnies had good pressure on him, but Osei able to knock it home and give Little Rock the 2-point lead at 64-62. We'll reset things here. The Bonnies with the timeout now have 2 remaining. Little Rock also with 2 timeouts. Minute 47 to go in regulation, and both teams at the 10-foul limit. And if there is a held ball, it is in favor of Little Rock. So the Bonnies will inbound. Bonnies will inbound it. They get it into Adams. 25 on the shot clock. Jay will move the ball to Denzel Gregg. Denzel will give it to Mobley. Mobley will give it to Adams. Adams will get a screen from Ayeni. Doesn't use it, and we get a foul called on Osei. So Osei will put Jay Adams at the free throw line with a chance to tie the game. For Osei, that's only his 2nd foul. Free throw line, Jay makes it. One more free throw. If it's good by Jay, it ties the ball game at 64. And it's no good, and the rebound by Osei. So it's a 1-point game, 64-63. Little Rock has the lead and the basketball with under a minute and a half to go. With the ball, Johnson. Johnson will give it up to Hill, back to Johnson. Johnson gets the ball to Hill. They get the ball back to Johnson. He'll fall away with a jumper, and it's no good. Rebound up, no good, and a foul is called as Sochi able to get the rebound, and Josh Ayeni has fouled out of the game. So Josh Ayeni will pick up his 5th foul. And David Ando, I believe, is going to come in, but Josh Ayeni will foul out of the game with 5 points. David Ando will come in to replace him. And at the free throw line is Liz Sochi, who has been, the Bonnies have 24 free throws in this game. Sochi has 12 by himself. And he'll have 13 and 14 here, and he makes the first. Sochi with 15 points, 11 of them from the free throw line. And one more coming. Second free throw on the way is good, so it's a 3-point lead again for Little Rock, 66-63. And a timeout by Mark Schmidt as Jay Adams crosses center court. 30-second timeout with 1:04 to play in regulation, a 3-point game. Bonnie's trailing by 3, 66-63. Bonnie shooting 75% from the line. Little Rock 21 out of 30 for 70%. So the Bonnies setting up a play here with 1:04 to go. Needing a basket. Not necessarily a 3, but they need a score. Mobley will inbound the ball. Adams gets the inbounds. They'll give it to David Ando. Ando gives it to LaDarian Griffin. Griffin hands it to Mobley. They're running Jay around some screens, and here goes Matt for the basket, and a foul going to be called. They're going to get DeAndre Burns as Mobley beat Burns down to the baseline, and Matt Mobley will have a couple of free throws. Big, important free throws here with 52 seconds to play. Matt with 13 points in the ball game and make it 14. Chiniso Aboka is going to come into the lineup now for defensive purposes. They're going to take Ando out. And substitution as Jalen Jackson comes back in along with Maurice Hill for Little Rock. One more free throw for Matt Mobley. Second free throw is good. He got the bounce. Bonnie's trail by 1, 66-65, 50 seconds to go. And now a timeout by Little Rock. So the Bonnies will go back and huddle around Coach Mark Schmidt. And they're going to use a full timeout here, so the Bonnies will have time to try to do some strategy here. They've got a big stop coming here. They need this stop. Down 1 with 47.8 seconds to go in the second half. The second game here is going to be Central Michigan against Pepperdine. And the Bonnies will play Central Michigan tomorrow night. Going to be same as it was tonight. We'll be on the air at about 5:50 with the pregame show and tip off shortly after 6. Some other scores around the Atlantic 10. A final from the Paradise Jam down in St. Thomas. North Carolina State beat St. Joe's by a score of 73-63. And another one just underway in the second half. Georgia and George Washington tied at 41. Houston and George Mason. Houston has an 11-point lead on the Patriots. And that's early in the game, about 8 minutes to go in the first half of that game. Here, 66-65. Arkansas with the Arkansas Little Rock with the lead and with the basketball. The ball will be inbounded. They'll get it into Hill. Hill will give it to Marcus Johnson Jr. He will move the ball to the right wing, hand it to Osei. Osei gives it to Jackson. Down low, they give it to Soshi. Soshi with a fall away, and it's no good. The rebound is loose, and it goes back to Arkansas. Three Bonnies had a chance at that ball and missed it. And now Arkansas Little Rock, they're going to have to do something because they've got to get the ball, and Jay Adams fouls Jalen Jackson. Three Bonnies with an opportunity to get that rebound, and they kicked it back out and could not control it. Arkansas Little Rock got the ball back, and Jay Adams had to foul Jalen Jackson. He's got 2 shots, and he hits the first. 2-point game. Bonnies did what they needed to defensively except for getting the rebound. Andre Jones has come into the ball game. 20 seconds to play. It's a 2-point lead now. And the second free throw is good as Jackson gets the bounce. They're going to take him out, and DeAndre Burns comes in. 3-point lead. Bonnies down 68-65. Adams brings the ball up and calls the timeout. Bonnies use their final timeout. It comes with 16.7 seconds to go. And the Bonnies now need a 3. Bonnies putting David Andu is going to come into the ball game. They take Abolka out. David does have an outside shot. He's 0 for 4 in this game. You can expect Mobley and Adams to handle the basketball, and you can expect Little Rock to put everybody they can on those 2 guys. They're the best 3-point shooters on the team. Denzel Gregg has 3-point range, but is 1 out of 4 on the season. Bonnie's trying to devise something to get either Mobley or Adams open for a 3. And both teams being called to the floor with 16.7 seconds to play. 68-65. Mobley will inbound it. And they will get it into Adams. Jay moves it to the right side. We'll give it to Denzel Gregg. Denzel gives it back to Jay. Down to 8 seconds to Mobley. Mobley penetrates. Will bounce it back to Jay. Jay with a 3 on the way. No good. And the rebound going to be picked up by Little Rock, and that'll be the ball game. Bonnies did not get a very good shot. A very heavily contested 3 by Jay was off the mark. And the loose ball falls into the hands of Little Rock, and Little Rock will win the game 68-65. So the Bonnies now 1 win, 2 losses on the season, and they will play Central Michigan tomorrow night. Central Michigan getting ready to play Pepperdine here in Game 2 of the Lone Star Showcase. So our final score tonight is Little Rock 68, St. Bonaventure 65. We'll have the post-game show coming up next, and of course we'll have our final box score, and we'll also have Coach Mark